Hello everyone, and welcome to Star Trek Scylla, a second edition game of Star Trek Adventures using the rules by Modifius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are a lovely group of individuals who will meet right away because I'm eager to get back to play after about 28 days. So, Shizno, who you playing and anything you want to shout out?
I am playing the wonderful, I like this wonderful captain or admiral, depending on what you want to call him, Crowley. And should be a fun time. And as normal, as is with tradition, what's a physicist's favorite food? Fish
Spare
and chips.
ribs? Oh, fish
No.
and chips. Okay, well, now that I've taken psychic damage from that, Arwen, what do you got going on?
Hey everyone, I'm recovering from the psychic damage here. I'm Arwen, and I am playing the Chief Medical Officer, Bryn Evans. And I guess I want to shout out to the Kairos crew. Their episode was super entertaining, and I'm very jealous that they get to play in that game. I really wish I was available on Sundays. That's it.
Okay, all right. Sunbay, what do you got going on?
I am here. Hopefully my voice will hold out and doesn't crack too much. And I am playing not your lovable today, the hard edge, hard-nosed, but with a good sense of humor. Lieutenant Commander James Montgomery, the Chief Engineer. Or am I?
Yeah, if you missed last session, we found out that someone was impersonating Montgomery, and that was a whole thing. It was very entertaining. But last but not least, Petrus, what do you got going on?
Hey everyone, I'm Petrus, and I am playing the Cardassian Chief Science Officer, Lieutenant Sienna Belor.
All right, and
That's
with
it.
that, let's go ahead and run the intro, and then we'll get started proper. And welcome back. So, where we pick up with the crew of the Scylla is actually in the middle of a firefight. The Scylla is rapidly impulsing away from a, not armada, but a good grouping of Tholian meshweaver ships. And much like the intro, we see that some vectors have been sort of cordoned off with Tholian webs. We see that the Tholian vessels are firing their polaron beams in an attempt to cripple the Scylla, the good old Connie 3. And in general, you all have been running and shooting for the past 15 minutes. Like, this has all come to a head in the past 15 minutes. The good news is that you did find the real Lieutenant Commander Montgomery, and you were able to ascertain that they were who they said they were. So you have your chief engineer, so that's good. But what's not good is that the entire ship shakes as those of you on the bridge would hear Master Chief Hylong report, "Sir, our shields are down to about 75%. No real damage so far, but I don't think they're trying to destroy us. I think they're trying to cripple us."
Is this being said to Crowley?
Yeah, assuming you're on the bridge.
I'm just remembering, wasn't I in sickbay because I got blown up?
Yeah, but you've had time to recover.
Okay, how much time has passed since?
45 minutes.
Oh. So I look like shit, is what you're telling me?
Yes, and in fact, I have not reset anyone's stress for that very reason.
But Montgomery is up to full?
Yes, Montgomery's up to
Okay.
full because it was the doppelganger Montgomery, not you.
Or was it?
You can't just keep saying that.
Walk it off. You've got nanites. I don't want to hear you complaining.
So I didn't have a chance to change clothing either, so I'm still wearing, and I'm probably, yeah, I haven't even been cleaned yet. I probably still look like a blast victim, just covered in charred clothing and burnt remains. Cool. Yeah, I scroll on the bridge, and this is all happening. I hear that. I look to just everyone. This is a question for everyone. I was like, what's our surrounding? What's in our vicinity? What can we use to throw at them, evade them, or utilize to incapacitate them?
Since we're in combat, does this mean that I can do the major action of sensor sweep?
You certainly may.
All right. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the zone is around us, so...
Yeah, so it's basically what the normal sensor sweep is. It's just that we're framing it in the context of Starship combat.
Yeah.
So it is still a reasoned science on Bellower's part. It is still a sensor science from the Scylla. And you will start at a difficulty of 1. And of course, since you're a science officer, you do get a free question.
I do. Also, does my focus of observation come into effect here?
Most definitely it does.
Awesome. So I'm going to use a focus. Does someone want to roll the ship? I can always just roll it too. But...
Okay, there's 2 successes already, so that's 1 momentum.
And what was the ship, sir?
Sensor science. Survey says... Alright, no help from the ship, unfortunately, but you still got your 1 momentum. Well done. So, as you look in the immediate area, Belor, you see 3 things, and I'm actually going to make them into traits so that you don't lose track of them. The first thing that you notice is a stray bit of asteroid, so I'm just going to call them an asteroid clump for the first one. All right, and let me see. Asteroid clump, and we make that value 1. Create resource. All right, there's our first one. The second thing that you notice is a micronebula. Now, this micronebula is perhaps big enough to hide a ship in. The problem, though, is that the Tholians know it's there too. But you've got a micronebula you can mess with as well. And then finally, the third thing that you notice is a rogue planetoid. It's more like a moon than a planetoid. Probably about actually the size of Luna itself. So let me just call it Luna-sized dark world. And I'm going to set that at a 1 as well. And of course, for those who are not on stream at the moment, basically I'm using the party resources module for Foundry to keep track of all of our traits in the scenes. It's a very handy module. Would recommend. But yeah, that's what you see. And then you do get a free question.
All right. Well, as you were listing everything, the question I was originally going to ask is kind of meaningless. So I would like to know, is our enemy's trajectory taking them close to any one of those objects that I could potentially use it as
I would say that they are currently trying to erect a new Tholian web around the micronebula to prevent you going into it.
Okay. That is useful information.
Mhm.
Captain, while we are being chased by the Tholians, I would like to point out that we have some stellar bodies that we could potentially take advantage of. There is an asteroid piece that I'm sure any of our lovely weapons people could find a use for. There is also a micronebula, though the Tholians are attempting to blockade it so that we cannot enter it or use it to any effect. And there is a rogue planetoid in our vicinity.
They don't know what's going into the micronebula, huh?
Apparently not. It is quite possible that there is gas in there that we could weaponize or take into our Bassard collectors and throw into their sensors as a screen, but I didn't get as close of a read on that.
What's our first contact?
Which one's closer?
Yes.
Which one is
Well,
closer?
The asteroid clump is the closest.
The asteroid clump is the one that we will come upon first, Captain.
How large?
Roughly about the size of Deimos, or what's the other Mars moon asteroid thing? It's Deimos and
Phobos?
Phobos and Deimos.
That's what it is. So Deimos and Phobos, that's about the size of it.
They are approximately the size of the fourth planet of the Terran system's moons.
Fourth. Mars?
That is correct, Captain.
Right. All right. How could we use the asteroid to get into that? We could use it like a shield, or we could hurl it at them. Do we have enough power to redirect it?
I would imagine that we do. It just depend on how we allocated our resources. That's an engineering question.
Get them on a horn.
All right.
So Montgomery, I presume you're in engineering, but where are you currently?
Main engineering, just going over everything to make sure that the other me didn't do anything that I haven't found yet.
Or is he?
Oh God, you can't just keep saying that.
Or can he?
Oh God. Okay.
Or
I know
did
what I've done
he?
here. Oh Lord. All right. Well, Montgomery, if you want to give me an insight engineering at a difficulty of 1, just to see if the doppelganger of you left any fun surprises behind. You would have I know my ship as a talent, so you actually get a bonus D20 to start with. So you already are rolling 3.
All right, let's go with that. Yeah, I assume I have a focus.
You do. All right, 2 successes, bringing you up to 2 momentum. So, kind of a good news, bad news. The good news is that, well, your doppelganger doesn't appear to have left any hidden Easter eggs, as it were. However, you do see that when they left the ship, as a reminder, they did manage to escape via a permanently cloaked ship that was originally attached to the underside of your saucer section. They stole a few torpedoes.
Oh no.
Which, if you need a reminder, because it has been
Already-
a hot minute,
Already limited list
quantum
of
torpedoes are coming on Tuesday. So you had only 5 photons. You now only have 2 photons.
Oh no.
Engineering the bridge.
Bridge here.
Hey, Captain. This is Montgomery. I was just doing some scans of the ship to see if our friend left anything behind. You know, good news. He didn't leave anything behind. Bad news is he took some stuff. Apparently, 3 of our torpedoes.
Thank you, Chief. Can you find out exactly all the information you can about them, payload, serial number, everything, to try and track them down at some point? Or at least let someone know.
Roger. As long as our database is good, we know the 5 we had, and we know the 2 that we have now, so we can break that out by should have all the data for the missing 3.
As for the shorthand nature of torpedoes, he's gonna look at Hailong for a second. Like, Hailong, what's our crew complement currently?
73 as it should be, sir.
Is that skeleton crew or full complement?
No, that's basically what we left Stardock with, sir.
And what is escape pod capacity?
Well, assuming the escape pods all work, we can get about 50 souls off the ship. Again, a lot of that's coming on Tuesday.
How many can we fit into a pod without taxing its life support?
Well, that's the
maximum
thing,
threshold.
sir. We can overstuff the pods. The problem is it'll cut their life support operational capacity in half. So instead of being able to survive for a week, they'll only be able to survive a couple of days.
Get all non-essential personnel transferred to the saucer section. Transfer all power to engines and shields, whatever you can spare. And then load up 10 life pods with whatever explosive you can manufacture.
You want to create your own torpedoes, sir?
We're going to create mines.
Oh, I like this plan. You see Hailong brightens up, even though that her hair has been ruined, and it's apparently a Serato Draco thing to have glorious hair. So she's like, ooh, I like this idea. But in terms of rules, we do have to ask the question, what tactical action do you want Hailong to take here? Because she's only one person, so she can only take one tactical action here.
What is a action?
What I would say is that if you want her to focus on making mines, we will call that a create trait. If you want her to strengthen the shields, you can modulate the shields to increase your resistance. Or if you want her to use the tractor beam, that's also a tactical major action.
Let's do create trait. Let's get that knocked out of the way.
Okay. In that case, if someone wants to roll for Hailong, give me a daring and a security. She definitely has a focus. Difficulty of 2 on this one.
Oh, I should ask. They haven't responded or made any hails or demands?
Nope, they've just been shooting at you. In fact, as this is all going on, the ship shakes once more as another blast hits your shields. Oh, and look at that. Cad gave me a threat. I'll take that threat, Cad. Thank you.
Oh, no.
It's cat.
Yeah, who's got Hailong?
I can get her, although that's dangerous. So
I'm sure you can't roll 3 complication, surely.
So it's a daring and security, right?
Yep, daring security, difficulty of 2.
All right, and jury rigging
Would apply.
as a focus. Okay.
Peter,
Oh my god.
you had one job. One job.
Wow.
It
You
wasn't
asked me
3.
to roll.
You said you
Peter,
couldn't roll
you
3.
That's true. I didn't roll 3 complications.
You still... Okay.
Hey, hell, look at it this way. Combat lasts longer now.
It does, yes. Combat does last longer.
This is why I'm usually banned from rolling anything but my characters.
I'm just taking that in. Because here's the problem. You can either fail with a complication or you can succeed with 2 complications. Yeah, I know. It's not great.
I think it's so great that Hai Long failed this.
I think we should succeed with 2 complications.
All
And
right.
just see what happens.
It's still not 3.
Still not 3. Yeah.
No, Lord Exile. No, not 3. No.
It could be 3. Who's
All
assisting? Is the ship assisting?
The ship can assist. Yeah. Give me
I am not rolling this.
Give me a, let's call this a structure and security. And remember, the ship always has a focus, and they only roll the 1 on an assist.
Come on. Yes!
Okay, can we just stop for a second and take this in?
That's like my first complication.
Can we just...
Glory.
What is going on?
Glorious. Gloriousness is happening. That's what's happening.
I mean, Lord Exile, thank you for the momentum, but the momentum doesn't really help. Or, well, I guess it kind of does. You could buy off one of the 3 complications with 2 momentum.
No.
Okay.
I want there to be a second ship tailing us now.
No, that's the thing. You already were being tailed by like 5 or 6 of the things.
Oh, a Herojan hunting party swoops in at the last second. With a steel chair.
With just from the top rope steel chair. Okay, all right. My brain has come up with 3 complications. So, Hai Long is going to create the trait that you have makeshift mines. And that is going to be a trait that's going to be applied to the scene. However, complication 1, the mines have to be pushed manually out of a shuttle bay. And the shuttle bay is rear facing, so you can only manually push the mines out into the darkness of space. You don't have a launcher for them.
That's the thing. They're escape pods, so they're already locked into position with a charge ready to go.
Oh no, that's the second complication, is that when Hai Long tries to cannibalize some of the escape pods, we find out very quickly that most of the escape pods did not properly finish, or the escape pods that are currently on the ship are not rated for anything but bare life support, meaning someone forgot to put in the charge that ejects them from the hull.
Which means someone forgot to inform Crowley that those life pods were...
Yep.
Oh.
And complication 3, because there's 3 complications apparently, complication 3 is that the Tholians are actually going to get a free attack on you.
Oh.
So I'm going to roll 3 dice. I'm going to spend 1 threat to give them an additional dice. Let's expand out that 33. I see a 4, an 18, and an 11. That is sufficient enough to hit you. And they are using Polarons here. So if I have the rules on this correctly, what that means is they actually ignore your shielding. But they ignore your resistance. But let me confirm that, because this is my first time running Starship Combat in 2nd edition. Kind of why I wanted to do this. Let's see. So it is Polaron. It's intense and piercing. Fun. So yes, it is piercing, which means it ignores the 5 resistance that the Scylla has. And it does another 4 damage to your shields, bringing you down to 9 shields. So the ship rocks. Hai Long chimes in from the shuttle bay and goes, "Sir, you're not going to like this. The escape pods are borked. We're going to have to push the mines out of the shuttle bay manually. And I'm pretty sure that we need to have a very, very strong word with the shipyard people at some point."
She just gets the notification that the line has been...
The line has been cut. All right.
Yeah. Who has an act?
Sorry, say again.
Who hasn't acted yet?
Well, I
doctor.
believe the doctor.
That's me. Yes.
Now, one thing I would point out is that to the best of my ability, they did not give the doctor a specific table of actions. However, you still can do any of the standard major and any of the standard minor. So you can create your own trait. You could take over controls of a position momentarily and do something. Or you could trigger a major action, kind of like a prepared action or a held action in D&D.
Okay. Is it also an option to play the support character that I have set up?
Yes, that is also an option.
Great. All right. I will be taking over Ensign Noah then.
Okay. That'll take one
And-
crew support. I'm actually going to keep track of crew support, so it'll take one crew support.
All right. And Ensign Noah seems to be having the time of his life, swimming through space. But he says, hey, do we have a plan soon? A plan would be great. I can only keep them off our tail, or my tail. See what I did there? Because I have a tail. So long.
How many were guarding that nebula?
Out of character, there were 3 currently trying to weave a Tholian web across it.
I'm gonna hop on helm.
Well,
As
Noah's
well.
helm at the moment.
Well, there's 2 consoles, right? For helm?
Yeah, there's 2.
I'll relieve the person on that one, and that's my new position.
Okay.
It's like everything you can into engines, get us into that nebula now.
Got it.
All right. So, Mr. Noah, I believe that this is going to be some form of a impulse task
Good.
combined with a bit of maneuvering. So, what this is actually going to end up being, because of the traits in play here and the complications on the board, and because I spend some threat to be an asshole, this is going to be a controlling con for Noah. The ship will assist with an engines con. The difficulty on this will be a 2, and the complication range will be 18 to 20.
Okay, so I would like to invoke Noah's talent, 3-dimensional thinking,
Okay.
which means when you attempt a task utilizing the con department, the complication range associated with that task is always considered to be 1 less.
So 19 to 20 then.
Yes. All right. And I also have the combat maneuvers focus.
Would apply.
Great. And I'm going to spend a momentum
Okay.
to give me 3 die total.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
I mean, I believe.
Oh, and the ship has some kind of ability too, which I'll roll for the ship in a sec. Something with its improved impulse.
You may spend 2 momentum to increase the difficulty of attacks against the ship by +1 until the start of Noah's next turn.
Oh, okay. Shoot, what should I do?
Well, you don't have to spend it until you succeed. So
Okay.
Okay, well, you do succeed. You get 3. Someone get engines con from the ship. I would suggest Peter roll this one. Peter, if you'd be so kind.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, we're not letting the Will Wheaton of Star Trek Adventures roll for us.
Oh,
Do it. It's a chance to redeem.
All right, fair. Go for it.
no, it's already been rolled. We're good.
Thank you, Sunday. Thank you. All right, so that's 4 successes, meaning you get 2 momentum for your troubles. You are up to 4 momentum. And actually, I'd like to point out that Noah rolled an 18. So without that 3-dimensional thinking, that would have been a complication. So well done there. But yeah, if you want to make the ship difficulty 3 to hit, it will be a 2 momentum cost.
I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, narratively, Noah, you do your thing. You send the Scylla careening through space towards the micronebula, And it's one of those things where I'd like you to imagine the Tholian web is just slowly tessellating and closing the gap. And just like we see in the introductory video, we see the Scylla kind of do a half barrel roll to the left, and you slip in just before the Tholian web closes. Now, to clarify, you're not trapped in the nebula. It's just that one side of the nebula has been Tholian webbed. So that's the good news. The neutral news is that it is now the enemy's turn. And since there are multiple ships in this, I can just keep shooting at you because there's multiple ships. Now, to be fair, it is a difficulty of 4 because you made it into the nebula and you just spent the 2 momentum. So I either have to spend a lot of threat or I have to hope they roll really well. Decisions. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to have them try and create a trait. And I'm just going to roll straight. Well, I rolled a 19, so let's expand on that 19. That's an 11 and an 8. That is a success. So there is now an additional trait in the scene. And that is, how do I want to call this? Open sides of nebula. And I'm going to call this 5. So what this new trait does is this is the amount of sides of the nebula that are currently open. And every time they make an attempt at further advancing this trait, that open side is going to decrease. If it hits 0, then you are fully trapped within a Tholian web within this micronebula. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they have started that trait. So you're in the micronebula. None of the Tholian ships are coming in, but you only got a little bit of time. What would you like to do?
Ideas, anyone?
Yes. I would like to create a trait.
Okay.
I would like to create the trait cause friendly fire, which makes when the Noah's going to be doing maneuvering in such a way where he makes it look like he's going to go one direction, but then he goes in another direction. And he's going to coordinate it so that when the Tholians fire at the ship, he moves the ship out of the way just in time and increases the chance that they'll hit one of their allies.
I like it. The only problem is it's not a new round yet.
All right. Well, I will hold that action until... Damn it, I revealed my juicy idea too soon. That's fine.
No, I'm sure that won't come back to bite you at all. Not at all. No. But by my count, we've had Belor has gone. Noah, being played by Arwen, has gone. Crowley, you still have an action technically, and then Montgomery, you still have an action technically, if I'm keeping track of it correctly.
So right now we're in the nebula. There's only 2 ships building a web.
There are 5 more. The 5 that were pursuing you, they are now joining the webbing efforts.
Okay. I thought we had some time to get ahead of them. Can I get a composition of the nebula?
Well,
what's resources?
Hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, a little bit of oxygen. Pretty flammable, all things considered. Probably not something you want to detonate a torpedo in while you're inside of it.
Hydrogen and helium. And it's explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna look at our science division. He's like, you ever made a microstar?
I haven't made one in practice, but I find the concept intriguing.
We might have some trilithium left from... Oh, wait, that was just a holodeck adventure.
You say that, but we could. There may be some trilithium resin left over in the dilithium matrix chamber. It is a byproduct, after all.
How much time before they get the web done, and how much time would it take to make a modicum or modest amount of tricobalt?
Well, what I would tell you is that is something Montgomery would have to do. It would be kind of a race against time for Montgomery to do, because every single time the enemy's turn is going to come up, I am going to do another roll against the trait of open sides of the nebula. Now, they do have to get 2 successes in order to reduce the trait of the scene down. So you basically have, in worst case, you have 5 rounds to figure this out.
What we can do is use a deflector dish, pinpoint an energy beam within the nebula, most concentrated of the gases, and old Earth experiment. Essentially, fusion reaction. We're going to make a star. And then we're going to book it out.
And just to clarify, this is still using the trilithium resin, correct?
Trilithium to tricobalt.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, well, Sambe, Mr. Montgomery, this sounds like one hell of an engineering roll. So I'm going to give you an option. Do you want to have a lower difficulty multiple roll, or do you want a high difficulty single roll?
For the single roll, how high a difficulty are we talking?
Probably a difficulty of 4.
We do have 2 momentum that we can use.
And, well, I have, in the nick of time, and intense scrutiny, which are both
extended tasks.
Extended tasks.
Right. I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Because I want to capitalize on those talents, I will actually say that will lower the difficulty to a 3.
Okay.
But it will be a daring engineering here. And as a reminder, you do have bold engineering, which means if you give me a threat to buy at least 1 die, you do get to reroll.
That is true. So if I give you, 6 threat?
If you want it for the beans, if you give me 6 threat, you'll roll 5 dice. I know Shizno's over there like, yes, excellent.
For the beans.
It's got to be for the, well...
Do you want
I can also throw a value.
That's true.
Okay, act with confidence, even if you don't feel confident. All right, that'll get you 2 free successes to start. It still would be 6 threat to, or 4 threat, 2 momentum to get all 5 dice.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, so just to confirm, you are giving me 6 threat.
I mean, what else were we going to do with it?
Okay, you know what? Fair. Just making sure.
Focus, and I assume a focus.
You do, yes. You definitely have a focus in warp power systems, quantum physics. You have a bunch here. All right, you get 5 successes, meaning you actually get a momentum back for your you get 2 momentum back for your troubles. And yeah, Montgomery, you have, through miracle working capabilities, come up with a tri-cobalt bomb. Now, what I'm going to tell you is the tri-cobalt is actually a new torpedo type that is in 2nd edition. And what I will tell you is, you know what, I'll just actually add it to your sheet. That way you can see the absolute hell that a tri-cobalt device is. So let's see. New weapon. We'll call this tri-cobalt. I can spell cobalt. Tri-cobalt device. It has a range of long. It starts at a damage of 6. It includes the weapons mod. Area. Calibration. Cumbersome. There you go. You
Holy
now
cow.
have 9 damage in an area.
Sheesh.
Sir, if I had realized what this was going to do before I built it, I would have been a little bit more careful.
Well, right now we don't have the time for careful.
Well, I got a big bada boom for you.
Get to hear. Get on the transport pad so we get ready. Lieutenant Belor,
Yes, Captain.
let's see if we can find some sticks, as it were, rub them together, and see if we can make fire. Let's bring light to this nebula.
Finding a fire pit, sir.
All right. Now, to be clear, if you want to go next, Shizno, in order for Crowley to do a direct action for Belor, that would cost 2 momentum to retain the initiative. Otherwise, the Tholians get a roll here.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
If everyone's okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for it.
All right. In that case, you are directing, which you assist with a control and a command on your part. And then, it's actually now you spend a momentum to do it. Interesting. All right. Well, that's what the new rules say. So you then, you assist with control command, and then Belor, you're doing another reason science assisted by the ship's sensor science, difficulty of 1.
Okay. Would my observation skill come into play here as well?
It would, yes.
Okay. Just trying to give myself at least any sort of help that I can. Oh, okay, there we go.
Well, that's 3 successes. No, that's actually 5 successes. So you get 4 momentum back for your trouble, bringing you up to 5. And yeah, actually, Belor, you have 3 possible targets. And actually, since you have an area tri-cobalt device, you can hit all 3 areas and create one heck of a big bang.
Captain, if we beam the device into this triangulated area, we will be able to hit 3 such tinder boxes that you are looking for and be able to set off quite the fireworks show.
Good. You still have that probe you rigged up, right?
Yes.
Let's launch it in an opposite direction of where we're going. At the same time, triggering that. So they don't know exactly what our angle is.
All right. I think we'll be able to fit it through. We might have to beam it into space in order for it to engage its engines. As I recall, it won't quite fit down a torpedo tube.
Oh, I remember. You plan with transporter room to get this beamed out,
I will coordinate with the transporter.
and helm for them to punch it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's all I needed to hear.
Ensign Noah, we'll need to time this just right.
Well, you better tell engineering to juice the inertial dampeners because this is going to be awesome.
Oh, I love it. All right, well, the Tholians get to act because we've come to the end of the Allies' turn. Now, there are 2 Tholian ships which have not acted, so they're each going to get a roll here. I'm going to give each of them an additional die using threat. So the first one, let's expand out that 29. They rolled 2, actually 3 successes, so I get a threat back. Thank you, Tholians.
Now remember,
51.
I was doing the evasive maneuvers.
Oh, they're trying
you're
to do
right.
Aren't
Well,
they
this
trying
is
to
for
do
the
the
web.
net?
This isn't to hit you. This is for the web.
Okay.
That's a complication. Interesting. Yeah, they have to roll a 12 or under, so that's a 20, an 18, and a 13. So I think what's going to happen is the sides of the nebula that are open, we're going to go down to 4. But what you are going to tell is that because of Noah's evasive and confusing maneuvers, At some point, 2 of the Tholian mesh weavers flew into one another and detonated.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So that actually is going to reduce the amount of Tholian turns. We started a new round. Players get to go.
Montgomery's walking slowly to the transporter room.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I would say is that this sounds like we're going to have basically one person doing the role, whether it's Noah for the impulse, or going to warp, or if it's Montgomery on the transporter, or if it's Belor pinpointing the area, or Hylong doing something, or Crowley doing something. One of the rules that I found in 2nd edition, as it was pointed out to me, is that the source of the assist after the first one actually requires spending momentum or threat to get. So it's something where if you have 3 assists, that's going to cost 2 threat or 2 momentum, if you see what I'm saying.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, I did see that rule. That makes it different.
Mm-hmm. And I get why they did it. It's just that I completely missed that on my first read through.
Yeah.
But yeah, you tell me who wants to be the star of the show here, or multiple stars of the show, and we'll make it happen.
Well, it shouldn't be me.
I was actually going to say, since we're trying to make a star, I think it's best that we have Belor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm down for that as well.
Bring the chaos.
Oh, boy.
All right, Peter, you have one job. One job. Don't roll 2 complications. We don't want 2. We don't want 3.
We
don't want
all
4.
Complications.
Maybe 1 complication, but not 2.
I want to see 7 complications.
Being so mean right now.
An imposter?
Can I use a determination to make him a complication?
No. I like where your head's at.
Sonny, you won.
Chaos.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, Belor, if you are leading the role, this is going to be a daring and a science.
Okay.
You will have a focus. I am going to tell you the difficulty is a 5. The first assist you'll get is from Montgomery. Montgomery, you are rolling a daring engineering for the transport task. You will have a focus as well.
Okay.
The potential second assist is from Noah. Noah, you are going to warp as soon as the device is shot out, if I understand the plan correctly.
That was my understanding, yes.
Okay, you are doing a daring con, and it will cost 1 momentum for your assist. And then if Crowley is assisting as well, that would be another momentum. And I don't know, how would Crowley be assisting in all this?
Oh, Hylong's assisted by tossing the probe at the back.
Oh, okay. Well, if
she has to redeem herself.
If Hylong's assisting instead of Crowley, that would be 2 momentum, and she would be doing a fitness security on her part.
I want Peter to make every single roll.
So that would bring us down to 3 momentum,
you would be at 3
right?
momentum, yes.
Okay. I would like.
And you know what's funny? I have 12 threat.
Oh no.
17 to 20 complication range.
Okay, so I put that one at 17, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's for everyone. Everybody's 17 to 20.
Okay.
Use the 3 to get 2 more dice.
Yeah. Okay, so then I'm rolling 4 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because this is. Hang on, I'm trying to see if I have a value that I can use.
Always find ways to be useful, maybe?
Yeah, either that or I care too much about what people think of me and I don't want to screw this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to use that one.
Okay. So that'll get you 2 free successes to start. And 1 more die that can't be a complication.
All right, so I got 4 dice using a focus. I do not have a dedicated focus here. Yes, Evil Steve, it was my record. I am
It
well
was Peter's
aware.
record, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring it up, but you brought it up. So, all right, I don't have any other way to stall this. Now we just got to see what happens.
All right.
Ah! Oh no!
Hey, I haven't rolled Noah's assist yet, so
I mean, I believe in Noah. Noah seems like, yeah, Noah's great. We love Noah here. That's great. And actually, now that I look at the roll, Belor would actually have 5 successes on that roll because you didn't check using determination value.
Oh, I guess I didn't.
Yeah, because it will always turn the first die in the pool to a 1. So that's 5, 6, 8 successes so far. And we just need to see Montgomery. No, Montgomery assisted. I think we just need to see Hylong's fitness security.
Let's have our good doctor roll that.
Oh, for how long? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, fitness security, please.
Sure. Come on. How long? So many windows open.
I know, like, I have filled the Foundry window with so many windows. It's
I
pretty bad.
bought myself a ultra wide, and I thought I'd never run out of room with that sucker.
So is this shipboard tactical systems?
It would, yes.
Okay.
She's literally throwing shipboard tactical systems.
All right. Well, actually, that's very good. So that is a grand total of 10 successes.
Woo!
10. So you get 6 momentum back, which means you're at cap and you have 1 floating momentum, meaning you could buy off that complication by spending the floating and 1 more.
No, I like complications. I was thinking of making a trait.
You could make a trait. What trait would you like to make?
I want to give it to the probe.
Okay.
I want to give it the bat out of hell trait. It is the fastest probe ever recorded by Starfleet. And it's screaming. It is screaming multiple warp core signatures. It's faking everything.
I mean, it was a cobbled together piece of junk, so doing that could make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That is so metal.
It looks almost like a Klingon probe. That's how fast it was slapped together.
It's funny you should say that because I was thinking about the enemies that the Klingons, the ancient enemies of the Klingons that are in Star Trek Online.
The Herc.
The Herc. Yeah. Well, wait, was it the Herc? They have those awesome ships that shoot fire.
No, that was the. It starts with an N. What are they called?
The Nakul?
No, it's not the
Nakul. Yeah, that's them.
Was it the Nakul?
The temporal guys?
No.
Hang on.
The Feklier. Is it the Feklier?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
Something with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a ground mod that I walk around on fire.
Nice. All right. Well, when you create that trait, here's narratively the combination of what happens. At the same time, so everybody working together. Belor, you send the coordinates to Montgomery. Montgomery, you beam the Tricobalt device where it needs to go. Hylong throws the probe with startling speed out of the shuttle bay. And at the same time, Noah, I guess you don't slam unless you want to slam a flipper on the controls. I don't know how Noah hits the button, but Noah hits the button.
He slams his 2 fins together.
There you go.
Fins together.
There you go.
Punch it.
And yeah, you punch it. And what happens is you time it so well, because you get 10 successes. You time it so well that you go to warp the instant the Tricobalt device goes off, masking your escape. However, that is going to take not only your reserve power to go to warp, but it will also cause a breach because of the nature of the complication in the tricobalt device.
Can I have a perfect breach if you want?
What breach are you thinking of, Shizno?
My office is gone. We just hear a loud decompression, and the force field goes up at my office door.
Well, see, that's a funny thing you say that, because if I remember our Tuesday list, you actually don't have force fields. You only have bulkheads.
Oh, right! I made that complication. So the door's really trying.
Mm-hmm. So if you want, we'll call it a breach to structure, and yeah, you will lose your office.
After we resolve that, I have a question.
I have an answer.
Okay, so the Scylla has improved warp drive,
It does.
which means if we roll equal or under the ship's engines, which are 11, we don't spend a reserve power for the ship.
That is correct. Would you care to roll it since you're rolling Noah?
I would.
Right.
So roll the ship's engines.
Just do
I
roll and
just do slash roll.
space 1d20. Yeah.
Okay. Slash roll. Is it just 1d20? All one
1d20,
word?
yeah.
Okay. Nope, that's not a valid command.
Space between roll and 1d20.
That would do it.
Right.
Damn.
Unfortunately, your engine is 11, so you do not actually get to keep your reserve power here.
Just trying to remember those things.
No, and I appreciate you keeping us honest. So, again, narratively, you get out of there and the Tholians are none the wiser. However, there is a momentarily decompression alarm on the bridge before emergency bulkheads basically seal around the door to the captain's or the admiral's ready room.
Can I spend, if you guys are okay with this, it's more of a narrative thing, but I feel like it's going to be a expenditure. But I want to use the 5 momentum. I think I want to.
Because it's 2 momentum per trait. Nope, did we lose Shizno?
Oh, no, I'm sending you a message, actually, because I kind of want it to be a surprise.
Oh, okay. Oh, yep, I see it. I see it. Let's see. What do we got?
These goddamn intelligence people.
Okay, is that the only thing? Because that would only require 2.
If it only requires 2, then yeah.
Okay. So, Belor, as you are monitoring the chaos that you left behind, you actually note that the protostar that you kicked to life actually will not dissipate. It will stay a star.
Oh, very cool.
You also detect in the process that all of the Tholian ships that were around the micronebula have been destroyed by the sudden shockwave and formation of this protostar. But, for the moment, you all have escaped to warp. And you are fully out of combat at this point. And now we get back to the regularly scheduled part of Trek episodes where we have a little bit of drama. So, Captain, or Admiral, as you're looking over at the door that used to lead to your ready room, the comms officer says, Sir, we're getting a communique from the Tholian Princess. Should I put it on the main viewer?
Please do.
So, the Tholian Princess this entire time has been unfortunately stuck in her ship due to the events of last episode. But the Tholian Princess appears, and she says, "Thank you for your crew's amazing and insightful actions in securing my safety. However, at this point, Admiral, I must ask the wisdom in continuing to protect me. Perhaps it is best that you release my shuttle and I proceed to the weapons cache on my own power."
Does she say that out loud?
She does.
I just kind of tilt my head sideways a little bit at that statement. And I was like, while we are beaten, we're not out of the fight yet. We want to take you as far as we can, and it would be more reassuring if I was able to get you there myself, instead of having to wait and hope.
Very good. Are you all right? You look like you've been through hell.
I took an explosion outside of your shuttle.
Oh dear.
Yes, I have gotten better since.
Well, I do appreciate everything that you and your crew are doing. Please do let me know if there's anything myself or my handmaiden can do to aid in any way.
Will do. If you have any concerns or questions, please reach out anytime.
Yes, in fact, as I was reviewing the firefight, I do believe that entering into silent running would perhaps be a good course of action here.
If the ship was more inclined to be favorable with my desires and wishes, yes. Unfortunately, to help with this mission, we had to get sent out pretty quickly. We're doing what we can with what we have available. And I hope it is not a sign of us being too laxed or panicking, but it's a sign that shows that we're dedicated towards your dream of having peace. We're going to try everything we can.
Very good. I trust your judgment, Admiral.
And he'll just give a head bow and have the communication ended. And he'll look at the comms officer. He's like, because of this mission, all communications and logs are to be deleted immediately.
Sir, I don't know what you mean. We haven't been recording for the past 3 days.
Perfect. Another thing to add to the Tuesday list.
Oh, right. Silly me, of course. Tuesday, we need actual computer algorithm to record all communications. Silly me. How did I forget that?
He's like, if anyone else has any objections, I'm going to go lay down. And he's just going to get up. And he's just going to take a step. And then he is just going to realize, like, oh, I'm in a lot of pain. And he's just going to sit back down.
Are you going to your office?
No, I'm just going to...
That'll take care of the pain.
Take care of everything.
Captain, would you like a site-to-site transport, or would you like assistance to the turbolift?
I'd just rather everyone just quiet. The sound of consoles. The hissing of my door.
I don't know why, but it's the funniest mental image because Noah is holographically projected because Noah is, of course, a cetacean. So they're having to be in a secondary bridge filled with water. So Noah is there floating above their console. We have Crowley like half dead in a chair, just sitting there. And then we have Belor, who I'm going to let Peter describe what Belor thinks of this entire situation. And then Hylon comes onto the bridge and looks at Crowley and goes, "You sure you don't want to go to your quarters, sir? I mean, I've seen you beat up like shit before, but this one takes the cake."
I am going to sit here until I can figure out how safely I can move. Because all the adrenaline is worn off.
Computer, please take a new personal record photo for the Admiral, authorization, Hylong, and she trails off before she gives her full command code.
And I'm sending up a damage control party to start reinforcing that bulkhead that in the captain's office. That should be pretty loud.
Yeah. All right.
Delora is just sitting there shaking her head like, oh my goodness, this is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just kind of like, she's going to turn over to her console, like hit the mute button, and then type a text message to the doctor telling him what state the captain is in and asking whether or not it is time for a site-to-site transport without his permission.
He probably won't even know.
Oh, you can authorize that. Absolutely. You
Very
put
well.
it under my authorization. You can put that. And if the admiral has any problems, he can come complain, and we can debate the authority I have on this matter.
You get a text message back. Very well. Belor stands up. Admiral, I have to insist that you go to sick bay.
Duly noted.
Computer, initiate site-to-site transport. Authorization Belor Alpha 1 to sick bay.
Transport goes, and Crowley, unless you have some transporting inhibiting nature I don't know about, yeah, you appear in sickbay.
He just opens one eye and looks at Belor as he gets transported. He could have immediately interrupted it, but he's like, no, this is fine.
All right, well, when you materialize in sickbay, what I'm curious is, since you did take a breach to structure, it is not just your office that went kaput. I'm actually going to say that main sickbay has been hit as well, which means when you beam in, you are actually in the auxiliary sickbay, which, if I recall correctly, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, Arwen, that was in, what did we say, Cargo Bay 4?
I think we said 2.
Cargo Bay 2. Okay. So, Crowley, you are on a bio bed, and you are surrounded by the most deadly weapon of all, blue barrels.
I just look at them, look around, lay down on the bio bed.
Done playing cowboy, I hope. Boyo?
I don't think any cowboy has ever taken an explosion like that.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. I'm just astonished at the state of you. Do please have a seat. Well, you or lean, whatever you're doing. What are you doing?
I'm going to lay down. That's what I'm going to.
Nurse, give me a hand.
Nurse comes over and helps you recline the admiral.
Stubborn. All right, hold still.
Could have kept going for more days, but
I've no doubt that's what you think. But we do need you actually to be able to think properly. Don't make me take you off duty.
Look at you
Don't
for
think
a
for a
second.
second I won't do it.
I've been worse. But
you took an explosion directly to your chest. God knows what other secret dark web nonsense you have going on in that body of yours. But for now, I'm telling you, you need to have a bit of a chance to recover.
Well, that's why I'm laying back, and that's why I didn't, issue a counter command to the computer system for the site-to-site transport.
We'll see about that. All right, let me have a look at you. Let's see what I can do to help.
It's just general fatigue that your scanners would pick up.
Well,
aside,
that's
of course,
what you
from
say
yeah.
until I spend 2 threat. That Crowley, your hair was black before, right?
Yeah.
It's now gray.
Oh, neat.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have become a silver fox, is as I believe they call them.
I am now more dangerous. I can be a spy daddy now.
That term is used far too regularly. All right. Absolutely. You know what? Absolutely tempting I should be with you, but I have to admit, it's good. It's a good look. I'm not going to lie. It's not terrible.
Looking like an exploded person?
Well, an exploded spy daddy. And we'll be able to heal this up. Those nanites are quite impressive, I have to admit.
Well, they didn't stand up much a chance against the Borg.
Someday you and I are going to have a drink, and you're going to have to tell me all these wonderful stories, doctor to patient, so I can treat you better.
Maybe.
Let's see if I can make you more comfortable. Let me get out my bag of tricks here. and see if we can ease some of that suffering and promote some healing here.
I just need dim lights, nice music, and rest.
Yeah, we'll do what we can.
All right.
He's just
Anything
gonna
else I
close
can
his
do for
eyes.
him, E?
No, I mean, he's pretty much outlined what needs to happen. He just needs time. And time is actually what you have. But before I say what I'm about to say, I'm actually going to go to Montgomery. Montgomery, would you have returned to main engineering after delivering the Tri-Cobalt device?
Yes, I would have.
Okay. Waiting for you is Hailong. And Hailong is kind of running a tricorder over the warp core. And when you arrive, she turns and looks at you and goes, Mr. Montgomery, sir, I don't really know how to say this. Permission to speak freely?
By all means.
You do realize that in the entire time you made that Tri-Cobalt device, that if you had slipped up just once, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
And she just stares at you and stares and goes, Sir, as Chief Tactical Officer, it is my duty to ensure that the weapons aboard this vessel do not hurt us, and that includes the Tri-Cobalt device that you created.
It worked.
Well, I'm not doubting that. In fact, I think it was an ingenious bit of engineering know-how to create one that quickly. My concern, though, is that, again, had you slipped up once, that would have been the end of everything.
It would have, and us staying in the nebula any longer than we would also have been as bad.
A fair point. However, I do have to tell you, sir, that I have to note it in my log, and that it will be something that Starfleet Command will have to know about. As per regulation, anytime a Tri-Cobalt device is used, we do have to report it to Starfleet.
Is that the log that gets delivered on Tuesday?
Roll me a presence engineering difficulty of 3.
And I will take all three. Well, yeah, I'll take all three. Well,
Do it.
How much threat do you have?
I have 7
7.
threat.
I'll take 3 threat.
3 threat, okay.
And would I have a focus?
I don't think so in this instance, unfortunately.
I don't have bullshittery.
Yeah, you don't have bullshittery, unfortunately.
So that's 4 dice.
Yep, 4 dice. Okay. You can succeed with a complication if you so wish.
Complication? What is that?
All right.
Go for it.
Go for it. All right. So Hailong's going to look at you and look at you and look at you some more. And then she rolls her eyes and sighs and just erases her tricorder logs and says, all right, I suppose that I can let this one slide, but let me just make it very clear, sir, that if you do create another Tri-Cobalt device, I can't do this again. I have to report it.
Oh, I understand. And it wasn't my idea.
Well, you can only hide behind just following orders for so long. That is how so many atrocities have occurred throughout history.
But we have a brand new star to gaze and wonder upon.
Yes, I've been meaning to ask Belor what she's going to call it, because I believe it should go to her to name the star.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, if there's nothing else, sir, I do believe the only other thing I have to tell you is that I will expect you for phaser training at 0800 hours whenever the hell we get out of this situation for good.
Instead of phaser training, do you think you could do some hand-to-hand?
I think we can arrange that. She gives you a very toothy grin.
I seem to be been lacking in that area in recent events of shown that could be something I need to improve.
Well, as the good admiral will tell you whenever he's not zonked out in auxiliary sickbay, fighting hand-to-hand is one of my specialties.
I had a feeling.
All right, as we end that scene, I now can tell you all what to do about stress. So, the way stress used to work is that every new scene you would automatically get all your stress back. However, in 2nd edition, they have changed how you regain stress. The good news is that this is going to be a break of several hours, which means you are able to recover all of your stress, and that applies to everyone. Everyone recovers your full stress. At the same time, the ship also recovers its reserve power and its full shields. And to set the scene coming up, it's been about 7 to 8 hours since your escape from the star. And actually, before we go any further, Belor, what is the name of the star?
The name of the star is... Hang on, I gotta make sure I can actually pronounce the stupid thing. It's going to be Verasin.
You're going to have to put it in chat so I can spell it correctly.
Yep. It is... Let me put it in chat so people can see it.
Okay,
it's surprise.
Is that German?
Dutch.
Even better.
Translates to surprise.
All right. Well, I'm going to actually add that as a trait to your character sheet because I like that. So copy, paste. Now you're going to make me do it manually. Of course you are. Verasin Star. There you go. Awesome. So, as you all have escaped the Tholians at the Verasin Star, I'm actually going to ask Shizno, what does the section or the prior Section 31 weapons cache look like? Is it just a bunch of crates floating in space? Is it a rock with an outpost on it? Is it a holographic thing masquerading as something else? What does it look like?
When they get there, it is a large vessel that was never completed. It looks like it's been stripped out and the frame's kind of left like a husk. But inside, it is packed with all these different containers containing different types of armaments.
Okay. So,
what those armaments are, that could be up to you.
No, I like it. I like it. In fact, you know what? I think it's going to be cool if we make the ship husk a DY-100. So a really, really old ship that nobody would ever think to look in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, at this point, all of you have had a chance to rest, as I said earlier. All of you can either be in the bridge or whatever you want to be during the scene, but I did want to give the maximum amount of opportunity for you all to roleplay. As you are coming up on this husk of a DY-100, the princess in her exosuit does come onto the bridge, escorted by 2 security personnel. And she looks at the ship and goes, doesn't look like much, but I suppose if what you say is there, then that is tremendous.
It is. It's safe to gather. But once you're done gathering everything, that ship needs to get destroyed.
I only have one thing to raise. Based on the size of this DY-100 class, as I believe it is called, I will not be able to store that much aboard my vessel.
You have a transporter system, right?
I do?
Crowley to Montgomery.
I think Sunbay is dying from a cough at the moment.
Ooh.
I actually was coughing at that time. I missed my name being called. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Montgomery.
Do you have the records on another Montgomery, Scott? He did a trick involving transporter buffer, recycling what was in the buffer.
Sir, I'm familiar with it.
Normally, that would be tricky for anything organic, but since we're worried about inorganic matter, can you increase the capacity what you can stick in the buffer?
We can try to come up with it, but transporters are not my specialty.
I'm going to transfer you some files on a vessel named the Donager. It came across their shuttle a number of years ago that had done a similar rigging. Hopefully, 2 points of information will provide you enough of an idea of how to get this done. Sound good?
We can give it a shot, sir.
And I'll transfer the files that pertain to Montgomery Scott and his modifications, and the modifications to a shuttlecraft that the Donager had come across a number of years ago.
Okay.
Similar configuration.
Okay. So, Montgomery, if you can give me a... What do we want to call this here? Let's call it an insight engineering. And I would actually give you a focus of quantum physics here.
Okay.
Difficulty of 2.
During the reset, did values... The determinations come
no,
back?
so determination does not come back, unfortunately.
Not a problem. Yeah.
I can give mine though, right?
Yes, as captain, you do have that ability to give your determination out to people.
I will do that.
Okay. And chat just gave me a momentum as well.
Woohoo! So, control engineering?
Insight engineering.
Insight. Okay. Focus, determination. And you said difficulty.
You know what? Let's make this interesting. I'm going to dump 5 threat. Let's make it a difficulty of 5.
Alright, so 2. So to bump it up with the well, you already bumped it up with your threat. So if I give you 5 threat, that would bump it up to 5 dice.
6 threat.
6 threat. How about 5 threat and 1 momentum?
Sure.
All right. Difficulty 5. Up and using determination value. All right. For the beans.
All right. Well, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is you do get a momentum for your trouble. The bad news is that in order for the princess's ship to retain that much volume of explosive and weapon cache in her transporter buffer, her ship is going to be a beacon to anyone in the immediate area, meaning there is no way she is sneaking back across that border.
Was that the complication?
That is the complication, yes.
Would bold engineering?
You could re-roll, yes.
Let's go ahead and do that. See if
Now, I will have to point out, because it is tradition here, that it is a 1 in 400 odds to roll another 20.
Yeah.
The odds aren't that bad if I try.
I mean, surely you can't roll another 20. Okay, you're good. You're good. See, you're good. Okay. So reverse what I just said. Because you got rid of the complication, yeah, Princess's vessel can handle it, no problem. You'll have to give her a few extra power cells, but yeah, she can get back across the border, no problem.
Sir, I think we've got the physics and everything worked out for how this is going to work, and think we can do it.
Good job. Happy to hear that. Get on it right away with the approval from the princess, of course.
Of course, I would be happy to oversee the modifications myself.
Perfect. Let's get the modifications done first, do some test beaming, and then we'll start beaming the cargo.
Is she going to be over Montgomery's shoulder as he works on this?
Oh, the entire time.
Oh, God. Montgomery is just constantly looking over his shoulder, almost distracted, but still, I guess, able to come through enough to make it happen. But he is definitely uncomfortable with the princess being there.
I mean, Tholian in an exosuit, I would be too. Just staring at you, not blinking. Just, what? What did I do? What do you want?
If there's anybody else from Starfleet there, it's noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, yeah.
All right. Well, to wrap up this little arc and today's session, you do get all the weapons aboard the princess's ship. She is able to basically leave your shuttle bay and begin very discreetly and subvertly return to the Tholian border. Meanwhile, you all, as the Admiral said, you do blow up the ship to make sure that there are no, shall we say, no witnesses or no way of confirming that this was ever here. And then the Scylla warps away, I'm presuming back to Space Dock to have some very strong words with the people there.
Words. That's not what applied force was taken for.
Ah, so you're going to be punching your way through this situation. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But because I have 10 threat.
I was going to say.
Because I have 10 threat.
Board cube.
Not a board cube, but as the Scylla warps away and we sort of see the debris field of the DY-100, a Romulan bird of prey decloaks and begins combing through the records. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
I was going to say, if I could I spend 2 momentum to make sure that the princess doesn't get caught?
I will take that 2 momentum, certainly.
There we go.
There you go. But yeah, that was one hell of an episode. I know we were doing a lot of rolling rather than role-playing, if you know my meaning, but I actually think that went a lot better than first edition Starship Conflict, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would say so.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where, initially I was like, I don't know if I want to do this as a full session, but I think it went very well, all things considered.
Yeah.
Though I will say, try Cobalt Device making a star. That's a new one.
Well, the moment you said helium and hydrogen, I was like, oh, shit. They use that all the time to do fission reaction.
Mm-hmm. No, it was a very inventive way to think about it. Because when I made the asteroid, I was thinking, well, how are we going to get to the nebula? What Hailong was going to suggest was hollowing out part of the asteroid and then flying into the hole and then tractor beaming the asteroid around you as like a shield.
Oh, I had an idea for the asteroid. It was to repulsor beam it into one of the Tholian ships so we could smash it and then continue on through.
Ah, that also would have been valid. Now, one thing I will say before we sign off for the evening is that next week you will be at Stardock. You will have downtime to roleplay as your heart's content. So do go ahead and feel free to think of a few scenes that you want to have either with your underlings or other characters, because you are going to be in Space Dock the entire session. So
it's Tuesday?
It is finally Tuesday. Yes.
Yay!
On a Monday.
Yeah, it is finally Tuesday. Now, that said, even though it will be Tuesday, there is fun to be had if Stardock cannot actually get you those things. So I want you to take a look at the things coming on Tuesday, and I want you to pick, each of you, to pick one thing that doesn't actually arrive.
Captain's office.
I will say, though, for Montgomery, the 2 files that you get that were provided by the captain, one of them is, of course, maybe one you've read before. It's about the Enterprise D encountering Montgomery Scotty. Like his ship and everything. The Janolan, I believe.
That was right.
And then the other one, though, is simply referred to as an engineer named Storn. Storn. And for some reason, it says authorization approved, meaning that this file was classified for some reason.
The GM is making a note. All right. Well, with that, Twitch, stick around because we're going to raid somebody, but YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye-bye, YouTube.